I was at a state urban search and rescue conference down in, or basically north of Orlando, Florida. I met just amazing men and women who are true heroes and have a ton of courage. And they were out there doing medical training for search and rescue, and they were in pancake buildings the entire time, and they were working on just like really intense situations. And I got to be there to observe and to do after actions and to see how that coordinates with, the bigger picture with strategic planning. And while I was out there, I met Walt Lewis, who is a district chief in Orlando for fire. And we had these amazing conversations talking about, the role of firefighters and the future of firefighting and what's going on and what's some of his career experiences. And I was like, man, we have to have this guy on the show. And so he's actually with the Florida Task Force floor, which is out of Central Florida. So he can talk about USAR there too. Well, welcome to the show.
Hey, John. Thank you very much for having me.
You're obviously a really cool guy because, like, when we were talking out there, and I was seeing how these different parts of emergency services coordinate and work together, and this very, like, what did we talk about? This like hyper specific field of medical USAR and how to move into that from the firefighting side. It's just really incredible to think about, and just looking at the use cases there. Let's talk about going back from your experiences. How did you get into firefighting, and then what drove you towards the USAR perspective?
Early on with Palm Bay Fire Department, when I got on there, we responded down to assist in what we thought we were assisting with Hurricane Andrew. And that was my first exposure to USAR. Here's this major natural disaster. I was dating a girl down in Miami at the time, so I knew a little bit of the area. And to go down there, our people that coordinated it didn't want it. They took it for what it should be as far as a disaster. And they brought their own camper, food, supplies, and they laid the groundwork for our group to be able to operate because so many people flooded Florida. Hey, we're here to help. Where do we stay? Where do we eat? And we have certainly realized what that impact is. So fortunately, our agency did the right thing. Jim Stables, fire chief now in Boynton Beach, he's back down to Florida. He helped coordinate a good part of that effort and showed us how we could do this in a good way. So in small teams, we went down to operate out of Firehouse 29 in Sweetwater, and provided some aid to Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. I thought it was kind of neat. The USAR system was coming online. FEMA was coming about from CD, Civil Defense, and my brothers were involved in Civil Defense. That's what funded the fire department, part of it in Maywood. So just in retrospect, it's kind of neat how it connected.
Yeah.
And then fast forwarding, getting on with Orlando Fire Department after a couple of years with Palm Bay, the 9/11 disaster, the 9/11 tragedy, highlighted the need for regional and local teams to be able to be self-supportive, at least for the outset of the emergency, unknown if there would be just an isolated event. Prior to then, it was really thought of disasters being pretty much localized or sole in their aspect. But here, 9/11 really pointed out that you would have major disasters in so many locations. Outside of the hurricane or the earthquakes in California, where you had large areas heavily devastated, here you've got the Pentagon impacted, the trade centers impacted, and had Flight 93 made its impact where its destination was another site, perhaps. So that highlighted the USAR system. And then we were fortunate with Orlando, City of Orlando, Orange County government, Seminole County government, aligned to create under the umbrella of the state of Florida to create one of the regional task forces. And with that, Florida 4 was born. I have the honor of now serving as one of the task force leaders. I get to be that cheerleader still and keep people engaged in the team. And it is easier when you dress up for the rehearsals a lot and then there's a performance. So if you're a bridesmaid a bunch of times and you don't get married, it gets a little disappointing after a while. So for us, we're fortunate that we get that opportunity, but we never like to see the tragedy. We just always are happy to be able to assist like any team out there.